Just before we get started, I have to fucking ask, what the fuck is wrong with people? How is this not a fucking blood sacrifice to your goddamn deity, huh? How the fuck is this not... How is this not evil? These are the same fucking people who talk about the left as a death cult. At least, with relation to what you're talking about with the death cult shit, we're ending fucking pregnancies. We're not ending goddamn families. Fucking, it blows my fucking mind. You know? It just... let's just get past this as fast as we can. Under the measure, houses of worship would be considered essential services, and no emergency order may directly or indirectly cancel public worship if any business remains open. Again, praying is not fucking necessary. But even if you want to argue that it is, even if you want to argue that worshiping God or whatever the fuck is necessary, you can do this from your fucking house. You don't need to be in a stupid fucking building maintained by someone who has more money than they fucking should have from fucking fleecing idiots, okay? This is fucking... And there's a stock footage. You couldn't even get a picture of your own fucking church or something. And I feel like this is like the perfect time for church to be closed. A fucking pandemic. Fucking... I feel like we're being taught a lesson by God, and you are not fucking getting the lesson. Ashley Sadler is the author of this, and let's just get to it. Florida lawmakers have passed a bill that would prohibit future emergency orders like those enacted during the COVID-19 response from closing down religious institutions if any businesses are allowed to stay open. Again, despite the fact that, some stores have to stay open because that's how, our system works, and, you have to go out and get fucking food and shit. Again, how is this not a blood sacrifice to your shitty fucking deity? My only hope is that the people who run the churches just close down just because they give a shit about their fucking congregation. Like, they literally, no, we're not opening services because there's still a pandemic going on. We're in the third fucking year of this shit. Nah, we should not be playing around with this shit, okay? Florida's Republican-led Senate approved the measure, SB 254, in a 31-3 vote Thursday. Good, at least when this shit gets passed, it is made into law, we'll have 31 names to put on the fucking list for negligent homicide. A companion bill filed in the House, HB 215, was advanced Wednesday and awaits a floor vote. I fucking hope that somewhere in there's some fucking good person in this process that just stops this shit from going forward. Because I don't want innocent fucking people to die. I don't want people to needlessly die because of this shit. Under the new measure, houses of worship would be considered essential services, which makes no fucking sense, and no emergency order may directly or indirectly cancel public religious services so long as many businesses remain open. Every fucking time churches have opened up during this fucking pandemic, there has been, like, cases that shut that shit back the fuck down. Because so many people have had fucking, like, just got COVID at the shit. And it's just, like, it was unfucking... It was not ignorable. You know. So they had to shut the shit down again. I just hope, again, someone stops this shit before it becomes fucking law. The move comes after religious groups, along with conservative politicians and commentators, raised the alarm over the past 2 years. Oh, Tom Cotton. Okay. Have liquor stores and marijuana shops open but closed. Okay. Tommy Boy. Okay. I'm going to explain this for people who don't fucking know. Generally, you go to a liquor store, purchase your liquor, and then go the fuck home. Same with a weed shop. You go get your weed and you go to fuck home to smoke your fucking weed. You don't sit in the building for hours on end while listening to some self-righteous cocksmear fucking pontificate. It's different. Over the past few years, when churches and synagogues were told to close their doors while other businesses, sometimes including liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries, were allowed to remain open, as I just explained. Jason Burdeur is born out of the pandemic, but not, said the bill's sponsor, Republican Senator Jason Burdeur, noting that the legislation is not merely a knee-jerk reaction to COVID-19 and the restrictions immediately imposed ostensibly to slow its spread. And you're just like, no, open the fucking floodgates. Fuck it. Destroy the fucking dam. Just flood this entire fucking thing with dead people. Just come on. Let's do this shit. It applies to all emergency orders that would come. It would basically say if Publix is open, so is your place of worship, which is just fucking stupid. Publix has to stay open because, again, food store. Brodeur said, what it doesn't seek to do is what we've seen in the other states, where churches, synagogues, and mosques were singled out for congregated activities. Which... Because you totally give a shit about fucking Muslims. You spent 4 fucking years under Donald Trump shitting on fucking Muslims constantly, but now you give a shit about Muslims, you know, because it's politically expedient to use them. If passed by the House and signed into law, which again I hope doesn't happen, SB 254 would make permanent a declaration made by Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who does not give a shit about his fucking constituents or citizens, in April 2020, when he issued an executive order specifically describing churches as essential services and exempting them from stay-at-home orders during the early days of the pandemic. Florida Politics noted that Florida was among a dozen states to do so in 2020, while states like California, New York, and even Texas took a different path, shuttering religious institutions along with other businesses, because they didn't want people to die. It's bad when fucking Texas, which has a Republican governor, like, it's bad when Texas is like, nah, let's not kill citizens. Let's not fucking do that. Some churches and religious groups in states which had deemed them non-essential have argued that their rights were violated when public religious services were shut down while big box stores and other indoor spaces were permitted to remain open. Again, it's because people don't spend hours and hours and hours in the same fucking building. You know, people also mask up and all the other things that people do. And y'all fucking don't want to get the vaccines and you fucking think they're evil and whatever the fuck. And you also don't want to wear a fucking mask because the blah, 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 blah. You're... At this point, I'm actively rooting for fucking Umbrella Corp. Like, fuck it. I'm like, you make me want to fucking root for Umbrella Corp. Like, I want to root. I don't want to root for the fucking evil corporation, but like, you know, the evil biotech firm. Like, I don't want to fucking do that, but like, it's just like I have no fucking sympathy for you fucking people. In California, the Thomas More Society won 2 settlements against the state after plaintiffs argued that congregants' religious freedom was violated when statewide orders called for shutdown of indoor church services. And how many people died because of this shit? In February 2021, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled against California in a 5-4 vote upholding religious liberty to die in a mass death event because of the fucking virus that you guys don't believe exists but will fuck you up. Meanwhile, though Florida chose to declare religious services essential early in the pandemic and to lift all statewide restrictions months ahead of many other states, it has not stopped there because fucking... The Sunshine State's GOP-led legislature has continued to enact legal bulwarks, including its new measure to protect churches from being shut down, churches specifically, it's interesting, in a bid to prevent the kind of intrusions on liberty enacted under the auspices of emergency mandates over the past 2 years. In May, the governor signed SB 2006, declaring that no entity in Florida may demand proof of COVID-19 vaccination as a condition for entry to businesses and other venues. Again, how is this not a blood sacrifice to your shitty fucking deity? Like, just... In November, DeSantis called a special legislative session in which lawmakers crafted additional legislation against mask and vaccine mandates. According to a press release put out by the governor's office, the bill drawn up during the special session included those which banned mask mandates in schools and prohibited blanket employer COVID-19 jab mandates by requiring employers who provide a broad swath of exemption options, including religious and health concerns, as well as natural immunity. You really just want everybody to fucking die. Like, you really do. God, you're fucking selfish ass clowns. Like, fuck. We provide protections for people. No nurse, no firefighter, no police officer, no trucker, no anybody should lose their job because of these COVID jabs. They're gonna lose their fucking job because they're gonna die from fucking COVID. So DeSantis, we're respecting people's individual freedom in this state. Individual freedom to fucking potentially cause a goddamn super spreader event because of their religious freedom. You fucking idiot. God, I fucking... Can we just saw off fucking Florida at this, like... Can we bring all, like, the fucking not idiot people from Florida? Can we, like, bring them back? Like, bring them into the United States and they'll just saw off Florida and set it into fucking the Bermuda Triangle or some shit? Like, can we just fucking do that? Let's read the comments. E-word, to achieve the Great Reset. Oh my god. The elites have figured out that in the process, church services must be restricted and even shut down. Again, to keep people from fucking dying. But even if you look at communist and dictatorial countries, the leaders make sure to control religion. Yes, but not ever get rid of religion. It's to join forces with the church. They're afraid of the fact that God gives the individuals inalienable human rights, but God doesn't protect those inalienable rights from getting alienated by the state. Like, where the fuck is God protecting all these people's fucking rights? Not the state. This scares them. So tyrannical and communist governments generally outlaw public displays, a display of religious belief, because it threatens their power. As apparently fucking fascist governments don't do that. And right-wing governments fucking don't do that. That's what the CCP has done in China with Christian churches. Also Uyghurs, but apparently you don't give a shit. The government approves all religious services or faiths being closed. And sadly, they have the blessing of the Catholic Church. Dockyar. The law should read, if any business or government service offices, including law enforcement, remain open. Except in reality, now if we could only get Florida's Catholic bishops to cooperate, because they don't want people to fucking die. Like, they're already having problems with people leaving the church because all the sex pest fucking shit. They're not going to let the fucking people, like, they're not going to just, like, they're not going to openly just kill their congregants. They can't afford that. Kiwi in America. The pandemic has shown us that Caesar does not consider religious services to be essential. Because they're not? Also, you can do religious services at your own house. You don't need a fucking building. No real surprise there, since our leaders, by and large, are secular humanists who give lip service to religion. Yeah, fucking. They're secular human, which also being secular humanists doesn't mean that you can't be religious. Much more alarming was the revelation that the hierarchy of the Catholic Church feels the same way, as they lock down churches almost universally, because again, they can't afford to lose congregants. Especially distressing was the abandonment of the dying who were left to die without the last rites. A lot of those people probably didn't deserve last rites because they were being fucking idiots. Let's be fucking real. People who were innocently just, fucking, the people who were fucked over by the people who didn't want to get the shots, not that they couldn't get the shots, but didn't get the shots because of spooky language. Those innocent people should have gotten last rites. Not the fucking people who are willfully endangering other people's, other human rights. People who are, questioning or endangering other people's human rights should not be fucking given last rites, because they're not going to fucking heaven, because they're fucking... They've fallen victim to one of the 10 fucking deadly sins. Or 7 deadly sins, not 10. I wish there were probably more deadly sins, but there aren't. If the church leadership thinks it can get away with abandonment of the sheep without consequences, it is greatly mistaken. Sad and difficult times lie ahead for the church as a result of this faithless behavior. I mean, they have no... faithless insofar as they don't have faith in human fucking... humanity. Michael, this is great for those bishops, priests who would be at risk of fines, etc. for staying open against local ordinance, but surely won't keep faithless clergy from shutting down their churches when no restrictions require them to do so. As we've seen all over the country. Again, they're trying to protect their fucking congregants against their congregants' extreme wishes of I want to die from a fucking virus, blah, Madge P. As long as churches are tied to the government tax relief, they are beholding to them forever. Let go of the money churches, as Jesus threw out the money changers from the temple. Love of money is the root of all evil. Let go and let God. Are you arguing in favor of them paying taxes? Andrew Padden. Not good enough. This legislation was clearly written by a Protestant because it leaves out the most important part, last rites. I've said from the outset, I'm willing to go without mass for a time so that the dying can have last rites. While keeping the churches open is extremely important, making sure that priests can enter hospitals and nursing homes to give last rites is indispensable. We need the sacraments, and the dying need the sacraments immediately. If they ask for them. I would just... asterisk. If they want the last rites, they can get last rites. If they don't want last rites, stay the fuck away from them. Match P. The Constitution grants all of us freedom of religion. Considering, again, the Constitution is very, who's considered people, who's not considered people. So many states forgot when we were muzzled on and on lockdown. The entire pandemic scenario was a farce from the get-go. Or from the word go. Proof people weren't even able to gather in their cars in a church parking lot to hear services, because it's fucking stupid. That proved right. There was something bigger than was told. Every day something new was coming to the surface that we relied about. Citation needed. I believe in being cautious, but the extreme is not American-made. It is communist-inspired. I believe in being cautious, but being extremely cautious is fucking un-American. I want to die needlessly because I'm a fucking idiot. That's what you're saying. Get the fucking out. That's everybody. Have a wonderful fucking day. Go donate to a fucking charity. Don't give money to me. Give money to fucking charities. Peace out.